Okay, it's Sunday morning. It is windy, cloudy, cold. I think it's 41 degrees. It's 9:40, like I said. It's gonna rain probably around 11, so I only got a few hours before it really starts to get kind of bad. I'm gonna head up into a little bit towards Lakeview from Paisley, and there's a lot of BLM land and a ridge line there where there's a chucker. They've been seen there recently anyway, so I'm gonna go up there and see if I can't, spook them out if they're hiding and maybe get a couple, so we'll see. I'm gonna use a 20 gauge today with Upland bird shot. Let's see what we could find. Okay, I didn't get very far. Hit this little itty bitty bit of mud. I was like, oh, okay, I could make it through there, but this stuff is thick. I could probably still get out, but I'm just calling for help just to make sure I don't dig myself in further, just to make it easier. The rest of the ply is like rock solid, but I knew better, but it's like, I'll see if I could do it. Didn't quite make it. Okay, so I got out of that mess. I just got to make sure I stay out of the wet mud and just kind of work my way towards some hard pack stuff. So off we go. Let's see if I can make it. Actually, I got to take myself out of 4 low. Go back to 4 high. And make my way towards those. Once I make it out to that ridge right there, it should be hard pack, a lot of rocks, and then I'll try to wander either side, left or right, to make it back to town when I'm done. And definitely avoid this wet stuff. Okay. Truck's a little dirty. Guzzler's right there. Got my Upland. This stuff is soft too, man. So hopefully I don't get stuck out here. But let's go up and see what we can see. Gotta load up. Okay, safety's on, ready to go. Yeah, you can see the mountain tops are starting to, that's the main ridge line, can't remember what it's called. That's going into Lakeview that way. And this is where the rolling hill type ridge lines where Paisley's kind of at in that valley. Yeah, there's birds up there. John said, just sit here and listen, see if you could hear the chucker. They make a very distinct call. ODFW to give the birds water. I don't know if it's in particular just to help the birds out for hunting. John said since you don't have a dog, you gotta be ready to go in a moment's notice. Should be up in the rocks. I'm just going here just to check this out. It's windy, it's a little bit cold. It's beautiful though. Oh yeah, look. So the rain just falls on that. collects down here in this like aquifer. Huh, interesting. Never knew those existed. So we're just gonna walk up there, try there first, maybe buck up in here, see what we get. It's just so crystal clear. I'm not used to living in places where you can see from one ridgeline to the other so clearly. A little bit cold, but totally manageable. Don't even need gloves or anything. It's probably close to 50. they're going to be around. They should be in a more protected area like this, out of the wind. That's what John actually was saying, which makes sense. And he was out here just recently and they just all fluttered up. So they're out here, but the question is where. I don't know, some of the shells to the other pocket, they're rattling. Yeah, this stuff is soft. I think what it is just layers and layers and layers of playa dust. Unpacked. Probably do. Truck's back in there. I'll walk around this way since that's the location you guys were. But he said they were down in the bowl, sheltered. This almost looks like a trail. sand dune. Not the easiest to walk on. Definitely a trail that coyotes or bobcats or something are using. I don't see any trails though. Oh, I'm actually walking up a trail right here. Some kind of animal. You gotta watch where you're stepping, and you gotta keep an eye out in case the birds fly, if you happen across any. Andesite or rhyolite? Can't remember. There's the highway, 31. There's my truck. Wander around this way, like I said, come back to the truck. Go for a hike. I've seen this is kind of like what they like is like really steep rocky areas. Trying to dig a napkin out of my pocket. Did I not bring one? Shit, I didn't. Okay. crossing this little valley to get to this side. Right over here, start my way along here. You know, they like to roost in the rocks, like maybe something like that. Wind's whipping around here. I'm hoping that's a little sheltered, and that's maybe where I might find something, maybe. I don't really know. This is new to me, but it's one way to find out. All these big boulders that just fall off here. That would hurt. Great example of mechanical erosion. Freezing, thawing. Oh, it's mostly freezing, I guess. Pretty cool. It's like a playground. This is too wind exposed, I think. Something came through here. You can see the tracks or the trails. There's water on that rock. Caves up there. That's pretty cool. I'm way in the middle of nowhere. No humans have ever been out here. Look what I found. Looks like a happy birthday Mylar balloon. Yeah. Traces of human garbage everywhere. Rudolph Schwanger. He taught me always pack out garbage, even if it's not yours. So pack it out. Probably would have stayed there for another 20,000 years. You can see all the air pockets from the lava when it was coming up, very viscous. All right. Okay, I don't want to fall from here. That would hurt. Bones, little jawbone. Yeah. Little vertebrae. Poop. Bird droppings. Nest. Up in there. I don't know what kind of bird that would be. All the bones. Look, it could be an owl. Could be something hiding in there. Perch right there. Definitely a predator because it's eating little mammals. Oh yeah, look. Bones. That's a feather wing. Just layers and layers and layers and layers of it. So cool. Yeah. The white poop. So where they just kind of perch. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Oh my God. Shotgun shell right in there. I don't know how it got in there. Maybe a bird brought it up in there. This is where it gets a little sketchy, but there's a cave I want to see. Slowly come up into it. Make sure I don't spook any animal. Yeah. Yep, signs of nesting in there. Different times. That's super cool. Widowmaker rock. Yeah. Not as much nesting activity though. Okay, I'm gonna head back that way and towards the truck. I gotta see if I can make it without dying. Okay. Man, I walked a long way. I actually made it to the top of that ridge. I made a little monument up there and walked back the other side. Found really cool. Unfortunately, the battery was dead, but I found a really cool like area where bones were, like cow bones piled up. A few of them, like part of a spine. Big, huge boulders, kind of on the lower edge. I think it was probably the coyotes. Probably have like a hangout spot up there and dragged up pieces of the cattle. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Kind of creepy too. Anyway, I'm gonna see if I can make it back without getting stuck. And I think that'll be it for today. That was a long walk. I was out there for about an hour and 20 minutes hiking around. So it's pretty steep, but pretty cool. Anyway, until next time, catch you later.